Hi folks. So this presentation is actually going to be in 3 parts. We're going to talk about the 5-act structure of a typical Shakespearean play. And we're going to begin by looking at some examples from what we've already seen in Romeo and Juliet. And then on a future date, you'll watch the rest of this and have a chance to see how the rest of it plays out. So in Act 1 of any Shakespearean play, we're introduced to the world of the play. And usually something has happened or is about to happen in Act 1 that's going to upset the natural order of this world. Whatever the state should be, that natural order and peace is going to be somehow disturbed. So we see in Act 1 of Romeo and Juliet that we have established this conflict with the Capulets and Montagues hating each other. We know that Romeo is sick in love with Rosaline. We know that Juliet's about to get married. And then something is going to happen to upset the natural order of this play with these two families hating each other. Their children are going to fall head over heels in love. And that, combined with the literal disturbance of the peace that we saw in the first scene, is going to set up all of the action for the rest of the play. Act 2 in most Shakespearean dramas is going to be structured where the good guys and the bad guys begin to make plans, and you see the rising action as the suspense builds. So in Act 2 of Romeo and Juliet, this is where we see Romeo and Juliet, after they've met now, we see the famous balcony scene where they exchange vows of love. They're going to make these plans to go ahead and get married, and we're going to start involving outside characters in these plans. Friar Lawrence is going to be involved, the nurse is going to be involved, and we also have Tybalt, who's still mad and left over from the fact that Romeo had invaded the party in Act 1, and that in general just hating anything to do with peace, the Montagues, and that whole side of the family. And Act 3 is where a lot of things get very exciting very quickly. In any Shakespearean drama, Act 3 is known as the turning point or the climax. This is where the events take place that the characters are now committed to a certain course of action, what you might call a point of no return. The decisions they make and the actions that they take now are something that they're going to have to deal with the consequences for the remainder of the play. And you see the conflict kind of at its highest point. So in Act 3, the conflict progresses. Often it appears that the enemies are going to have the advantage, and how the play will end is in doubt. So here is where your job comes in for your homework tonight. On the paper that you were given in class, use that homework paper to start brainstorming what are some of the things that might start to go wrong for this play. We know the world scene, we know some of the conflicts that have been set up in place, and we know some of the decisions that the characters are making. So start to think ahead based on the foreshadowing that you have and what you can just imagine. But where do you think the action is going to go in terms of what's going to happen to Romeo and Juliet, to the minor characters in the play, to the town, and to these two families in general? And that's it.